Hello, welcome to Real Film Snobs. I'm Brian Michael.
And I'm Angela Yeager. We have a special episode for you this week. We are picking the Oscars. Not in real life, we wish, but we are going to be going through the movies nominated for the Academy Awards. These are for 2019 movies. It's the 2020 Oscars. And giving some of our picks for the main categories, the major categories, who we thought was snubbed, who we think should win, and who we think will win. So we're just going to launch right in with the first category, which is Best Supporting Actress. The nominees are... I feel like I wish I was at a podium. The nominees are Laura Dern for Marriage Story, Margot Robbie for Bombshell, Florence Pugh for Little Women, Scarlett Johansson for Jojo Rabbit, and Kathy Bates for Richard Jewell. So, who was snubbed? Let's start with that.
So, this is a strong category there, certainly, I think. I've seen all of them but the one I really wish was in there was Caitlin Dever for Booksmart. That's the one I'm going to be banging on the drum for this one, that movie a lot this year. I thought she was absolutely fantastic in her role. I think that she was probably the supporting actress as opposed to Feinstein being the lead actress. So I loved her, but comedy never gets any kind of, except for Scarlett Johansson, which I'm really happy to see here in a comedic role. A lot of times comedic performances don't get recognized.
Yeah, although I would say I thought actually Scarlett Johansson is one of the weaker nominees. I don't think her performance in Jojo Rabbit.
The beard scene that's the scene they're going to show, and it's worthy of that.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
So, I actually think this is not the strongest category. It could be. But, everyone talked about Jennifer Lopez not getting nominated for Hustlers, and I think she was definitely worthy of a nomination. I would have picked her over Scarlett Johansson for sure. But actually, my big snub, and the person I would have loved to see nominated, but it would have been a long shot, would have been Park So-dam for Parasite, who played the daughter.
She's fantastic.
She is so brilliantly funny. Talk about a great comedic performance. Some of the things she does while playing the art teacher is so funny. She is so sharp and so interesting to watch in every scene she's in. You can't keep your eyes off of her. I think she's a real actor to watch.
Foreign performances are hard for American audiences to kind of get the timing and whatever it was. It's still hard. No, I loved her performance in that, certainly. Yeah. So who do you think will win?
Who should win? Who should win? Or who will win? Which one do you want to do
What
first?
do you want? Okay, who should win?
Let's say who should win. Okay, if I had to pick out of these nominees, I would actually pick Florence Pugh for Little Women, and in part because her performance really stood out among a great ensemble cast.
Yep.
And quite honestly, she made that character her own, and that movies have been adapted a lot, and that's the first time that character has really shined. The character of Amy she made it her own and really made that character something.
Yeah, and then with Midsommar also this year, she's really
she
put
had
together
she had
a really good year. And that sometimes is a factor in there. I really did. I went with Laura Dern as the one who should win. The second she comes on to the screen, she's just a force of nature, only matched by Ray Liotta, who plays the opposite, which I would have loved to have seen. I want to see the spin-off. I want to see the sequel with those two going at it.
Just the two lawyers battling.
But she comes in and she's just immediately, as a lawyer, she's selling herself. She's selling what she's wanting to do. She does what she wants to do anyway. I get you 55%. I mean, even though it was halfway, just to let him know that, I could. And I love that line. She just is so
just in the movie so little, I guess. And, she's such a great actress.
Dynamic in that. And she's also was great in Little Women. I mean, it's just those things. She was once the young ingenue way back with Wild at Heart. She was nominated for. And so she's had a great, respectable career, and that's what the Oscars like to do. They also give you one of those career-capping ones. So
which is exactly why I think she actually, for our next section, is who will win. Yes. I think Laura Dern's going to take it this year. I think if anyone was to upset her, maybe Scarlett Johansson, but I think that Laura Dern's got it. I think it's that career capping type of thing. People feel like she's had this great career. She had a great year. She was in multiple movies and a very successful TV show with Big Little Lies. And so I think she's going to get nominated. She's going to win for that reason.
And with the double nominees, going back to Scarlett Johansson, I think everyone has been double nominated in one year, has won one of them, I believe, because Holly Hunter did, and Sigourney Weaver, Jason Robards.
So it would be unusual if she didn't win. But I don't know. Maybe she could pull it out for Jojo Rabbit. Who knows? Okay, so we'll move on to the next category, which is Best Supporting Actor, and the nominees are Brad Pitt for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Al Pacino for The Irishman, Joe Pesci for The Irishman, Tom Hanks for A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood, and Anthony Hopkins for The Two Popes. So who was snubbed? Yeah, this is a category I think could have been a lot stronger. Wesley Snipes for Dolomite Is My Name. Comedy is always overlooked, but it was one of the great comedic performances of 2019. If anybody had actually seen it, he would have been a shoo-in, and I think that's the problem. My second, I have two for this. I can't help myself. Jamie Foxx for Just Mercy, which we were just reviewed on a recent episode. On the other side of the coin, for a dramatic performance, has so much power. He's been an award winner before, so I thought they would like that about him.
Yeah.
And he's multi-talented, and it's his first really great performance in a movie in years. And so I was really sad to see both of those performances overlooked.
I went with Son Kang-ho. I went with another comedic performance. It's half comedic and then half not. The father, he played the father in Parasite, and of course he has the most dramatic turn, we would say, in that movie. And I love that actor. He has such a great presence. He certainly is a movie star. He's someone that really pulls you in, in all of John Woo-ho's films.
If I could have picked three,
yeah,
Snobs.
I know. He's just so good in this movie, and he really, is the moral center, but he's the one who gives the son the advice and everything, and just kind of rolls with it, having no plan, and I absolutely love that. Of course, I would also say Ray Liotta and Marriage Story would just be so much, just the 2 seconds he's on screen.
He's hardly ever
but he's
in it at
so
all, yeah.
good in that part.
But
and
I
I
would
just
agree
love
with you on
seeing
Song
that as
Kang-ho
well.
as well. And I would say him, Wesley Snipes, Jamie Foxx, any of those people could have been in there instead of Anthony Hopkins.
Okay,
for the
so
two popes,
the one I would toss. I haven't seen a Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood, but I thought Tom Hanks, which I know, but really he played Mr. Rogers. Really?
You haven't seen the movie yet?
Really?
He
played another real life person. Really, Mr. Rogers.
I would throw out Anthony Hopkins.
Really?
Was
it that great of a performance?
Yeah, and in fact, for our next category, who should win? My pick is Tom Hanks.
Really?
For Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood. Well, it's a 4-star film, in my opinion. It's one of my favorite films of the year.
For sure. I was going to.
I thought Tom Hanks was amazing in it. I thought he embodied the character in a way, and it wasn't just the character. It was like a new take on Fred Rogers, if you could. And there were scenes where I was just shocked at how good he was. So. Yeah,
really?
Yeah, I really loved him in that movie.
I can't believe that. It's coming around on video, so I'll be able to catch it because I've missed it in theaters there. But
so that's my pick for who.
So that's who should win? Really? Over Joe Pesci?
It was close for me. I went back and forth between him and Joe Pesci.
Joe Pesci going in and being in a mobster film.
In like 12 years.
Exactly, but we saw him. He's going to be in a Scorsese film and a mobster movie, and it was like, okay, so he's going to play. You think I'm funny? You think I'm funny? You think I'm some sort of clown? And he comes in and plays the exact complete opposite.
I did. I mean, it was really close for me on this one on who should win.
He was just as terrifying, but so consoling and so gentle and quiet, but stern in that performance.
Very
that it
quiet
was
performance.
A very, very quiet performance. But he's he also kind of consoles his buddy that hey he's got to go.
Mostly acting
Time's
with his
up.
eyes. And sitting
Absolutely
still,
fantastic.
not expecting what people expect from Joe Pesci at all, which
Not
is true.
at
No, it was so
all.
hard. I was going back and forth between, really on this one, I would love it if Hanks or Pesci won. I went with Hanks because I feel like that movie's been more overlooked than The Irishman, and so that's why. But Joe Pesci's performance is amazing.
It's absolutely fantastic.
And who will win? I think Brad Pitt's got it locked.
Brad Pitt's got it down.
Yeah, I think he's got it locked.
I mean, it's really great. I mean, if him or Pesci wins, I'm happy.
The only reason Brad Pitt wouldn't win is if there's sometimes this thing that happens to movie stars where people say, oh, they're just playing themselves,
Yeah.
And it's so effortless that they're playing themselves. I don't think that's the case. I think Brad Pitt is playing a character in this movie.
He's playing a good-looking stuntman. A really, really, really good-looking stuntman.
Yeah, but he is acting. It is a performance. And so he's not just playing himself. But it's so effortless. Good acting is like that, though. And,
he's fantastic
And you think about the movie stars of the past, like Cary Grant or whoever, it's effortless because they're good. It's not just because they're not doing anything. So I think people forget that. So but I think he'll take it for sure.
See, now if I was Joe Pesci's people, I would let's see how much of the percentage of the time is he on screen as opposed to Leonardo. Is he really the supporting actor or is it co-leads here? That's what you would kind of go after, but whichever. I mean, poor Brad Pitt if he doesn't win. But actually, I would be really bummed because I really think
I don't think we ever need to say poor Brad Pitt about anything.
Exactly.
The guy is fine with or without an Oscar. He does not.
He already has one.
There's lots of other people.
He's been nominated 3 times for Best Picture, and he always has one.
Yeah,
so
we don't need to worry about Brad.
So
he's doing just fine.
He actually has one. So our next category then would be the Best Actor, and the nominees are Joaquin Phoenix in The Joker, Adam Driver in Marriage Story, Leonardo DiCaprio in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Antonio Banderas in Pain and Glory, Jonathan Pryce in The Two Popes, a movie that's, I had to remind you, it was on the radar. And let's see, who was snubbed? I mean, it's Willem Dafoe, right? I mean, that was we thought for sure going into this. After Lighthouse, it was like Lighthouse will get some nominations. Here's Willem Dafoe. Maybe he's finally going to get it and win it. And that was it.
That was a big one. That was a big one.
And Robert Pattinson could have been nominated as well. He could have easily been on our snub list. I thought for sure both of those were fantastic.
But nobody saw that movie.
He was amazing and dynamic, and the speech alone.
The soliloquy that he has in that movie, he's amazing.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, I didn't pick him because I thought you would, and so I didn't want to waste my vote, I guess. Who was snubbed? But I'm back on Willem Dafoe. He's so good in that movie that it's really, I just think it's because not enough people saw it. And it
He was
just
created for black and white.
And it was also just a little too weird for a lot of people,
Yeah.
so they probably couldn't get
of
past that.
course.
But if they actually sat through and watched the movie, I don't see how you could see Willem Dafoe's performance. So I had 2 on this one. De Niro for Irishman. I mean, in a movie where everyone else was nominated, De Niro was quite good. And so I feel like that was a slight. My other big one was Eddie Murphy, actually, for Dolomite Is My Name. A great performance. Like Brad Pitt, I think doesn't get the recognition he deserves because it seems effortless, because he's so funny and he's so charismatic that as he's going through the film, leading the film, people just think, oh, well, it's Eddie Murphy being Eddie Murphy, but he's not.
Daddy Daycare, Morbid.
He's done a lot of great comedic performances over the year, and he had a
Has
really
he?
bad stint there for a while with the family movies. And I feel like this is his coming back into his vein,
sorry.
his area where he really rolls, which is R-rated comedy.
I will tell you right now, Beverly Hills Cop is not a funny movie. Let's see. So then when who should win on there? Honestly, on this one, it really could be anybody. Really, honestly, as much as I love Jonathan Pryce, I know it's not a strong a role. I really like his acting. Antonio Banderas is fantastic in there. Adam Driver one, I'd be so happy because I just love the choices he's made all the way up to this, and he's very good in the film as well. And Joaquin Phoenix, he carries the whole film. This film is very, very popular. 11 nominations, the most of anyone.
Who would you pick if you had to pick one?
So if I had to pick Leonardo, like Leonardo DiCaprio, even though I bagged on him the first time I saw that film because I was in the third row and I love that movie, and he's actually really, really good in that one. I would have so I'll go with Adam Driver. We'll put it there because I really enjoy the subtleness. There's only one big explosion really in that movie, which we expect to have in a divorce film. But other than that, you see this guy really kind of struggling along with what's happening in his life and trying to figure out what happened, where it went wrong, and how it went wrong, and what he can do now. And he just is so befuddled. It's not a sexy role. It's not an attractive role. It's kind of funny, but you feel horrible. You feel bad for both of them, obviously, and what he's going through. And I just really enjoy all of his choices that he's made. He could, he's already done a wide variety of roles in different kind of films. That same thing with Robert Pattinson that we give a lot of credit to.
Yeah, no, he's really good. My pick is Antonio Banderas, not surprisingly. Pain and Glory is one of my favorite films of the year.
Yeah.
And his performance carries the movie, and it's not what we expect to see from Antonio Banderas, and I liked that as well.
Yes.
It's a lot of, sort of like we said with Pesci, a lot of acting with the eyes, a lot of feeling everything through characters. It's a very quiet movie, a very quiet character. So, and I like to see those kind of performances rewarded. I don't think he has a snowball chance in you know what. So, easily, for me, wouldn't be hard because there's a lot of these performances that I don't think should be even. I don't think The Two Popes is a very good movie, so I don't think it should be nominated. So, but
the performance, though, I thought Jonathan.
His performance
I always
is
loved
fine,
Jonathan
but there's
Pryce.
so many better performances
So good.
this year that I
Yeah.
for me it was Antonio Banderas. So, and then who will win? I think that pretty much. If you're in an Oscar voting poll, if you vote for anyone other than Joaquin Phoenix, you will probably be voting wrong. I would be really shocked if anyone.
That'd be a huge asset.
And unfortunately for me, because I didn't love the Joker, but I do love Joaquin Phoenix. I will be glad to see him win for I wish he had been nominated for other things earlier.
Sure.
But good performance should be rewarded.
I think if this movie wasn't called Joker, you would have enjoyed it a lot more.
I don't think so. I still think.
And I think that's really interesting. And this is we get to see him again. He's carrying this whole film. It is called Joker. He is playing that character. He's carrying the whole thing. And you sympathize with this character through this journey until you don't sympathize with him so much. And then that moment when he turns and that curtain opens and he's on that talk show. I mean, it was just like, because all the way through, I'm like, I'm not really scared of him. I'm not really, even after a murder concerns, I'm like, I'm not. He came out that curtain and I was like, and wow, here we go. So I thought that was very impressive, and I'm glad he's nominated in there. And he's an amazing actor again, working with directors that he wants to work with.
Yeah.
So then we're going to move on to Best Actress. The nominees are Renee Zellweger and Judy. I can't say without laughing. Charlize Theron and Bombshell. Scarlett Johansson, again in Marriage Story. Saoirse Ronan and Little Women. And Cynthia Erivo and Harriet. So now who do you believe was snubbed?
Lupita Nyong'o. For us. That's the big one.
That's the biggest snub.
Biggest snub, easily. Because not only was it the best actress performance there, I would say you put her up against anyone in any category. Supporting, best actor, Pesci, De Niro. It's the best performance that I saw in a movie theater in 2019.
Hands down.
And for her to be snubbed for that. And after she won an Oscar for 12 Years a Slave, for a performance that was good. I liked that movie more than you did. but for a much more less complicated role.
Yeah.
She was playing a victim, a slave,
Oh, yeah.
a victim. In this movie, it's such a complicated character, and she's
Oh, yeah.
playing
Two.
two versions of the
Oh, yeah.
same character, I mean, and doing it effortlessly.
Yeah.
And making you completely believe in each character. It was the kind of acting that I'm shocked that it wasn't recognized.
I showed that movie recently to my 83-year-old mother.
Oh, dear.
Just because it would be really funny to watch a horror movie. I have video, by the way. It's hilarious. It's like you're in an LA theater. She's yelling at the screen. But she turns and goes, now, who is this young lady? She should win an Academy Award. She's fantastic. And I was like, yeah.
She said that?
She
Yeah.
literally
So
said
did, like,
that.
people not see
Yeah.
it. We know it was a popular movie, so people had to have seen it.
It was a
How
long
did they
time
not?
ago. It was horror. Get Out was a real unicorn
They
in
should have
terms
done a
of the
bigger
Academy.
campaign for
well,
her. That's all I can
yeah,
say.
it made
is
a
that
ton
she
of money.
needed someone to campaign for.
It got
because-
seen. That's how you vote. You go to the movie, put money in it in the coffers.
it
They'll
got
make
seen.
more like that, and eventually that's how more
Yeah,
nominations
but
will
how
happen.
many roles will she get like that again? I don't know. It's just
Yeah.
so amazing.
So
amazing.
for me, my pick was Beanie Feldstein because I know you'd pick. I knew
Oh,
you'd
you
pick
knew I would
her.
pick
So
Lupita.
with Booksmart, of course, she holds it down in Booksmart. She is absolutely hilarious. I recently watched it again with my 83-year-old mother, which was really funny because there's a lot of f-bombs in that movie, and she does not like that word. But she is so darn funny, and that end scene where she's behind the glass and she's miming and making, just with her face, she's absolutely hilarious. And again, comedy doesn't get any kind of respect, and
Yeah.
that's too bad.
And
I'm
that's
looking
why,
forward
a
to
lot of
more of
these-
her career. I hope she doesn't become a Rebel Wilson and just kind of relying on that one
Well, her
shtick.
next, she's making that movie with Richard Linklater. That's going to take 20 years to make or whatever
yeah.
musical.
So now, who do you think should win?
Well, I had trouble with this category because a lot of the people I really wished would win weren't nominated. So I'm actually going with Scarlett Johansson for Marriage Story.
What? The Black Widow?
Well, because I feel that the character compared to the other nominees here, I felt like she really developed a character and made it her own. And I felt like Charlize was great, but we've seen her in better. And she was just doing a Megyn Kelly impression. I thought Cynthia Erivo was fantastic in Harriet, and I'd like to see more of her on the screen. Saoirse Ronan in Little Women, wasn't the strongest thing about the movie. And Renee Zellweger and Judy, it was like a comeback thing and an impression. I really felt like Scarlett created a character that was complicated, a complex character that you really wanted to know what was going to happen to her. So.
I disagree. I went with Saoirse Ronan. I thought she really held down a big ensemble with a lot of talent, certainly with Florence Pugh right
won,
there
I
on the
wouldn't be
screen.
upset about it. She's a
and,
great actress.
And I hate to say this, but it just comes to where you can't help but sometimes think like the Academy. And like, gosh, she's been nominated so many times. She's been consistently fantastic. Why not for this one? I really love this movie. I thought it was a fantastic film. I think she holds down the main role. She's the one that we really root for. Maybe the ending was just wrapped up a little too quickly, in my opinion, but. I really love what she was able to do, and it's a beloved role. We've seen a lot of people over the
Take it
years
on.
play it,
Yeah.
and so I think she knocked it out. She's a fantastic actress.
So who will win? I'm saying going with Renee Zellweger. I think she's going to win.
Really? When we saw that, you're like, she has Oscar buzz. Really? No one's heard of the movie?
Oscars,
No one's
the
heard of the movie? No one's seen the movie?
Actors love it when you play actors. She's playing a beloved icon,
yeah.
and she transformed herself, and
Yeah.
it's a comeback story, and Hollywood loves
She
that.
transformed herself how? But yeah, I mean, she does sing the role. It's
She does her own
good.
singing, which
It's a
they
good
like.
movie. I thought she was good in it. They had the one scene with the cake, which did break my heart. But yeah,
Didn't
I
do it
just
for you,
didn't-
yeah.
No, I'm still surprised by this.
Well, it's no Lupita, I'll give you that. I'm going to keep going. That's what I kept thinking. That's why I had trouble picking who should win. I was like, well, none of them are as good as Lupita, so I don't know. So, Best Director, nominees, Martin Scorsese, The Irishman, Todd Phillips, The Joker, you can tell how I feel about that one, Sam Mendes, 1917, Quentin Tarantino for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and Bong Joon-ho for Parasite. So, the big snub out of this category, in my opinion, and I think we're going to agree on this, maybe not, Greta Gerwig for Little Women. It was nominated for Best Picture. All the actors were nominated. The screenplay was nominated. Apparently the writing and the picture and all the performances were great, but the direction, it directed itself. So Greta Gerwig should have been nominated for this movie.
Yeah,
It's a
whenever
gorgeous looking movie. It's well directed.
whenever that's happened, like with Green Book or Remy Miss Daisy, it was like, yeah, it was good acting, and they pointed the camera at the way. And I felt that way about her directing with Lady Bird. I thought it was fine, and she got nominated for that one. So here we kind of balance that out a little bit there, I guess. But the growth from Lady Bird to this one is just absolutely astounding. I mean, if you showed those back to back, you'd be like, what were the films in between like? Because I want to see how this. No, it was. I mean, it was a huge leap to where it was like, okay, you have a vision.
Yeah,
You're
should've
doing
been
this. There was
nominated,
several
at the
shots
very
where I
least,
was
yeah.
like, wow, beautiful. So yeah, she is definitely the one that was snubbed. Who should win? I mean, should Martin Scorsese win like every year? Is there a better living director? Is there a better living film fanatic? Is there a better film fan, a fanboy? I mean, when you think of film, it's Martin Scorsese, really, in many ways. But anybody in here, for the most part, if Bong Joon-ho had won, or Quentin Tarantino finally really should get nominated. He always just wins for writing. And they go, oh yeah, we'll just give it to you for writing. Not
I'd be
picture.
disappointed if he won for this one, though, because I don't think it's the strongest film, my opinion.
Sure.
Bong Joon-ho is the one I think should win, even though it's for Scorsese, and I loved The Irishman. But he's been building up a career, like one great film after another.
Yeah.
He's never missed. He's
Even
never
a
had
monster movie.
He's never made a bad movie.
Yeah.
And this is such a directed movie. I mean, every scene has got his stamp on it, and you can just feel it's personal. He's built his career to this level, and he should be rewarded for that as a director. And I would just love, and I'd love to see his. I have to admit, would love to see his speech, because he's been kind of making these little razor barbs at Hollywood throughout the awards season. Just little things, not unappreciative, but just sort of like, okay, this is great, but I'm ready to move on with my life.
He doesn't have to. He's very big at home.
Yeah,
he can keep making
huge.
films for home.
Yeah, no, this movie's the biggest box office win of all time in South Korea, and and he doesn't care. He's like all about the art and the craft. He doesn't care about the business aspect, and I admire him for that. So.
Oh, I tell you what he said about Harvey Weinstein.
So
that's really interesting there.
Oh, I think I might have read the same
You read
article,
that? Okay.
Yeah. So, and who will win? I think Sam Mendes is going to win for 1917.
I'm going out on a limb. I'm saying that Bong Joon-ho is going to win.
Oh, you think he is going to win?
I think the pendulum, because of the 1917, everyone going, oh, really? Just because Dad wanted to see this on Christmas Day and it came out really late and everybody got excited about it. Now that I think might be running out of a little steam there.
That's I hope.
And I think that everybody is really pushing for Parasite. It's going to win Best Foreign Language, so it's not going to win Best Picture. There's no way it's going to win Best Picture because it's going to win Best Foreign Language.
Only in my dreams would it win Best Picture.
But if it won both. Anyway, so I think that there could be a little bit more there, depending on also who wins the screenplay there, that he could slide in there, because you got to think of like Ang Lee winning for Life of Pi.
I would love to see it win, but I just
because 1917 it's the cinematographer, people. It's not the direction. It's the cinematography.
Well,
that's amazing.
That's exactly. But I think because it's so technical, a lot of people go, "Oh, well, he is so impressive technically," whereas Parasite, even though it's not obvious in the way in 1917 is, and people that maybe don't know as much about direction or I don't know, just might get fooled by that. So, and there might just be the thing like, oh, well, he's a foreign director, although so is Sam. He's English. That's another country. If you're just talking about America, I don't know. So, don't get me started. Foreign language.
So then we go with the Best Picture next. Of course, we have Ford versus Ferrari. Oh, someone remembered that movie. The Joker, Jojo Rabbit, The Irishman, Little Women, Marriage Story, 1917, Parasite, and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. So who do you think was snubbed?
Oh, so many. But for my picks, if I was to say some of the ones that I know will make my top 10 of the year that were not on there, Hidden Life by Terrence Malick.
Yeah.
But it's hard to say it was snubbed because I don't think it had a snowball's chance in heck because there was no campaign for it at all. And it seemed to fall off the radar. But I don't know in any other year how that couldn't have been. Even Tree of Life, I felt like, which was way more obscure and harder to handle than this one, got more attention. So, but it's just such a magnificent movie. Will easily make my top 10 that I had to mention it. My other one is Pain and Glory. I felt like is also another one that was one of my favorite.
Yeah, that was
kind
of surprised a little bit that one didn't get nominated there. But I will certainly agree with you that, Hidden Life was one that I thought certainly really should have been in there. I don't know why they didn't campaign sooner for that one, or have it released earlier because I really think that one would have, especially for like the summer, and just been a little tiny thing that everyone remembered, then released on video, whatever. But it is a astounding picture. It's one of his best pictures. It is an incredible picture. I would also put Booksmart in there. There was no chance.
Yeah, you
no chance that would do it. But you got, the little tiny small movie. It's that got overlooked. It's funny, and it's got female leads. That would be nice to see there as well, and have that put in there. But
female director.
Yeah, and a female director as well. So that would be nice to have seen that in there. Just for the little mix. There's always one you kind of go, what was that? And you watch it and go, it was a really cool movie.
Yeah, which I think Jojo Rabbit kind of took the quote-unquote comedy category this year, although it's not hilariously funny in my opinion, but it's not as funny as Booksmart. So I actually think I laughed more at Parasite, actually. First half, not the second half. First half, Parasite.
Oof. And then boom, it all changes.
So who should win? Parasite.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean,
are you going to argue with me about that?
There's cases to be made here. So now you certainly can have Parasite in there. I certainly loved Once Upon a Time in Hollywood an awful lot as well. Yes, and Hollywood loves a Hollywood story as well. And I think that, you know,
It does have Hollywood in the title.
Tarantino's been nominated many, many times for Best Picture, so that's certainly you know.
But we're talking
probably
about who
give him a chance
should, not who will.
I know, but yeah, but that's for me. I'm like those are my two.
Those are the two
favorite-ish
that you would be.
films.
So for
in
me, it'd
there.
be between Parasite and The Irishman, which is why I was like Scorsese, Bong Joon-ho, but The Irishman I
I
loved.
think The Irishman's gonna get locked out. I don't think it's gonna win anything.
Anything at all?
I don't think it's gonna win anything.
Even editing?
I don't think it's gonna win anything.
Wow.
Yeah, I
You think it's the
gonna get
backlash
snubbed.
over the length and the Netflix
I don't
thing?
know. I just think that I just think that it'd be
I
happy
do
to be
think
nominated.
that one thing
and
we
same
got
thing
from
with
the
Marriage
Golden
Story.
Globes was that there was a lot of nominees for streaming material, but not any award winners. And I think the Academy is getting regressive. They're thinking, oh, we gotta send a message, and so we're gonna shut out these movies that didn't show in theaters. And so there could be some of that effect with both Marriage Story and The Irishman, which is too bad for The Irishman because it's a great film and it really needed to be. You know, I would have loved to have seen it and have a bigger theatrical release. We were lucky that we got to see it here in Salem on the big screen. But Once Upon a Time in Hollywood and Parasite are much more like traditional theatrical releases. So I still want to go with Parasite though for who should win, but I don't think it will win. I think, like you said, it would be historical if it did. If a foreign language film won for both. This year they've changed the name. It used to be foreign language. Now it's international feature. If international feature and Best Picture.
What the heck does international
that's
feature
what they
mean?
changed it to.
I know. What does that mean?
It's an international feature. I don't know. But if it won in both, that would be historic. It would be amazing. I think that I went back and forth on this, but I think 1917 is going to win. I just still think there's enough.
Oh, no. Yeah, it's going to win.
Oh, you think it will?
Oh, yeah. What do you
don't
think? Joker's going to win?
No. I think it's
1917's gonna
between
win.
that and possibly Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, just the
It's going to be one of those where,
factor.
look, it won this, and I went to the technical stuff, and then when you watch it, you're like, wow, I had no connection to that film whatsoever, but it blew it up real good. And watch the camera move. I mean,
Yeah,
it
we
was
were
just like,
obviously. If you watched our previous episode, we were not impressed with 1917.
It's like a live first game video, a video game. How
Well,
fantastic
it's a heartless
is that?
war movie, and how you make that, I don't know. But I was really unimpressed with that movie. I put a funny post on Facebook about it. I said, if 1917 wins, it'll be the worst Best Picture winner since last year with the Green Book. So we didn't have to go very
I
long.
like Green Book a lot better.
Well, you liked it better,
Yeah.
but yeah. Anyway, so those are our picks. That's who we think will win. We'll be watching. Some of you, if you watch this the second week we're on, you'll be seeing our picks after it's already happened. So sorry about that.
Yeah.
So anyway, so you can always check us out on our website at realfilmsnobs.com, on Twitter and on Facebook, of course, where you can always listen to us on KMUZ, watch us on Silverton and in Corvallis. As always, we'd like to thank our fantastic crew, our wonderful sponsors, my delightful co-host. Thank you for watching. Have a great day and great movies.